Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Unfortunately, this information does not surprise me, and I'm guessing it does not surprise a lot of you. And that is, the Ukrainians bluntly come and say, yeah, we're trying to kill Putin. Well, I don't think that's something that's new, but or surprising, but it's a kind of like a weasel way of doing things, don't you think? Well, I have here an article from a certain kind of source, and that's Daily Beast, and it's about an interview that Skibitsky, I think, had with Welt, that's a German publication, and he over there admits there's a plan to assassinate Putin. So let's get this article up here, and as I said, from Daily Beast, but it's taken from Welt. So, Ukrainian spy boss bluntly admits plan to assassinate Putin. This is May 24th, 2023. The second in command of Ukrainian military intelligence says Kiev spies are actively trying to kill Vladimir Putin, and the Russian leader is well aware of it. Vadim Skibitsky, the deputy head of Ukraine's main intelligence directorate, made the admission in an interview with German publication Welt. And I'm quoting, Putin is noticing that we are getting closer and closer to him, but he is also afraid of being killed by his own people, end quote. Skibitsky was quoted as saying, describing the assassination of Putin as a top priority. And I'm quoting again, many people in Russia still support this special operation against Ukraine, but thanks to social media and phone checks, we know that so many Russians have died now that it scares people, end quote. He said similar plans were in the works for Wagner Group founder Evgeny Prigozhin, whose mercenaries have been accused of grisly war crimes against Ukrainian troops. The key word here is this, accused. And I'm quoting, I'm quoting this guy. Our priority is to eliminate the unit commander who orders his men to attack. End quote, he said. Asked about Kiev's relationship with Prigozhin, Skibitsky said bluntly, we're trying to kill him. End quote. As for who tops Ukraine's hit list, he said Putin is number one, and I'm quoting, because he coordinates and decides what happens. End quote. And I'm quoting again, but in the end, everyone will have to answer for their actions. Chief of the General Staff Valery Gerasimov and Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu planned the attack, and now they cannot turn back. So, Moscow accused Ukraine of trying to assassinate Putin earlier this month in a brazen drone attack in the Kremlin, though the Russian leader was not present at the time that drones had struck. Prior to that, in late April, Bild claimed Ukrainian security services had carried out an unsuccessful assassination attempt by sending a drone packed with explosive to attack Putin as he visited an industrial park near Moscow. So, any more evidence from this guy's statement? Unless this guy is lying. Now, remember, maybe you don't remember, but I remind you right now, at the beginning of this war in February 2022, the then Prime Minister of Israel, Bennett, not Tony Bennett, as someone else Bennett, he showed up in Moscow from Israel and spoke with Putin for about 5 or 6 hours. There's an interview that Bennett gave to a media outlet. I think you can find it on YouTube, and you can find it online, no problem. And during this interview, Bennett tells the interviewer that he asked Putin not to kill, or if he intends to kill Zelensky. And Putin said, no, I don't kill Zelensky. And again, Bennett asked, the Prime Minister asked Putin again, are you going to kill Zelensky? And Putin said, no, I'm not going to kill Zelensky. Then Bennett gets out, goes to the airport to fly back to Israel, calls the weasel, which is Zelensky, who was in the bunker at that point. At the beginning of the operation, he didn't show his little snot outside. He was in the bunker. And told him, man, that's all per Bennett, not per me. I'm just the messenger here. And Bennett says that he told Zelensky that Putin promised not to kill Zelensky. And Zelensky said, are you sure? Are you sure? And said, yes, yes. And then in 2 hours, that weasel came out in public and said, we are not afraid. Okay? Now, Putin said he's not going to kill that guy because obviously for him it was, you guys are just a tool. And what's the reason? We don't do this kind of shit with you. Or whatever other reasons were, I don't know. The problem is, I think now the gloves are off after these guys attempted to kill Putin. They're trying to do it and they say it during interviews. Now this reminds me how low the honor in Western civilization. Remember, Western means, Western civilization. The ones with the ancient Greek values, with ancient Rome values, with the Renaissance and all the philosophers. This is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about Zelensky, or Zmihal, or Reznikov, or Yermak. No, not about those guys. Or Blinken, or, these guys. No, or Victoria Nuland, and many more. I'm not talking about those guys. I'm talking about the Western civilization. I have one example. I'm very familiar with it because I read about it a few weeks ago. And that is in about 16, 14, 15, 16, 19, 17, I think it was between 9 and 16 or 17 Common Era. The Romans had problems with the Germanic tribes, and they got I always forget the name of the forest where there was a traitor, obviously not a traitor for the Germanic tribes. His name was Arminius. He was part of he was born as a German and got into Rome, got Rome military, and he was with Romans, and then he defected and they attacked the Romans in this forest and they killed almost all of them. I think there were 3, how do you call them? Roman, I can't remember. Units, not units. Anyway, by the time I finish this, I might remember it. So after they were decimated, Rome came back and tried to kill Arminius and all these guys on fair fight. And eventually they fought for about 9 years. They destroyed whatever. They didn't kill Arminius. But at one point, 3 legions, Jesus Christ, from legionnaires. All right, so almost 3 legions, which is a lot of people. I think only about 6,000 remained out of like 20,000 or something. Anyway, then, and in the end, Arminius is killed by one of his competitor tribes, Germanic. He got wounded in one of the battles with the Romans. And my point is this. Then the second emperor was Tiberius. And Tiberius was provided with this, hey, we can poison Arminius, the German. And he was given information and a letter coming from the front. And we can try to poison him. And Tiberius, he showed up in front of the Roman Senate and he read the letter saying that we can poison him. And he said, no, we're not like that. We will fight straight to the face. I think they had a saying on solid soil and fair in front of the fair gods and of solid soil. They didn't like to fight on the ships anyway, the Romans. But anyway, that's how they say. We're going to fight them straight. We're going to them up. Don't poison the guy. So that's how that guy had his honor. Or maybe he just wanted to make sure that that guy's balls were going to be cut off instead of just being poisoned. So that reminds me, and I just got this ready right here. So this is Tiberius, the emperor who said that. And then this is his son, Germanicus. That's the one who was on the front, who said we can take care of Arminius. And that's the Teutoburg forest. That's where the attack occurred, where the 3 legions were decimated. And then we have here 3 Roman legions and their auxiliary cohorts. And then this is the guy, Arminius, the Germanic guy who he was a leader of these guys and whatever, a prince and chieftain of the Kersusci tribe. So he supposedly was supposed to be poisoned, but Tiberius said, we don't do that. Well, it seems like we borrowed certain kind of behaviors, not that we didn't have them. I'm just making it sound like that. But that's why, what's his name, Zelensky doesn't show up in public anymore. I think he's got some missiles right on him right now with his name, and he knows it. He's either around a Western official all the time, so the Russians will not hit him, either with the president, with Wallace is right there in Kiev right now, visits Reznikov, and he's either in Finland or anywhere else in Saudi Arabia, in Japan. He's not outside greeting people anymore, or like he was with Biden in Kiev. Remember that video of them? No. He's in a basement. And the other thing is, where is Zaluzny? I mean, Zaluzny, the general who the Russians claim he has been bombed and in critical condition. He will survive, but he will not be able to command anymore. We don't see him, and these guys, oh, the Russians are lying. Well, what is so hard to get Zaluzny in front of a camera and say, hey, mofos, here I am, I was not killed by you saying this, today is the date of this, is this time, I'm right here, this is this, I'm right here. These guys are liars. But we don't see that, because probably is what the Russians are saying. We bombed the guy. Now the guy is a military commander, hit with a missile. Okay, not try to assassinate in the middle of the night with knives behind the back or poison or who knows, ladies of the night during a sex orgy or something like that. So, all right, well, now we know these guys are not terrorists. No, these guys are just assassins. No, they are just fighting a war of defense against an enemy that attacked them without any reason. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. We'll see if the Russians are going to hit this guy first and return the favor these guys want to give it to the Russians in the newly civilized way we got.